Mindfulness apps and Zen gardens are the simplified exports of a much heavier reality. For thousands of years, these spiritual frameworks functioned as the foundational architecture of Asian civilization, engineering empires and fixing the social status of billions. These philosophies operate as the programming for entire societies. They provide the logic that determined who held power, who labored in the fields, and how the state maintained its iron grip on the population across centuries. This history is defined by a persistent conflict. On one side, we find systems designed to enforce absolute social order. But on the other hand, we see radical countermovements created to shatter those boundaries and secure individual liberation. Modern Asia is still governed by this struggle. To understand how its current geopolitical powers operate, we have to look at how they balance these two opposing forces today. Long before the arrival of modern bureaucracy, rulers in India and China sought to build the perfect, unchanging society by using spiritual mandates. Around 1000 BCE, the Manusmriti codified the Varna system, locking the population into a rigid hierarchy based on birth. By linking social standing to past lives through karma and samsara, the state turned societal compliance into a cosmic duty you had earned. In ancient China, Confucianism established a different kind of grid. It focused on strict moral boundaries, defining all human interaction through hierarchical relationships that prioritize the stability of the collective over the freedom of the individual. This moral philosophy was institutionalized through the Imperial examination system. For 1,300 years, the ruling elite were selected based on their mastery of Confucian classics, creating a bureaucracy that shared a single, unified moral vocabulary. By weaponizing divine and moral mandates, these civilizations managed to eliminate unpredictable social mobility. They offered their citizens a clear choice: total state stability in exchange for individual freedom. Rigid systems inevitably create friction. When state-made boundaries become too heavy, countercultures emerge to tear them down. Taoism emerged to critique the Confucian project. Focusing on Wu Wei, effortless action, it encouraged returning to the state of an uncarved block. Taoists viewed the state's attempt to engineer order through labeling and ranking as the very source of the world's fragmentation. This tradition of rebellion continues today. In 20th century India, B.R. Ambedkar led the radical Dalit Buddhist movement as a direct rejection of Hindu social stratification. In 1956, Ambedkar and hundreds of thousands of followers publicly converted to Buddhism. He stripped karma of its metaphysical weight, defining his people's suffering not as a cosmic debt, but as a byproduct of human-made oppression. Spiritual liberation in Asia has rarely been a peaceful retreat from the world. Historically, freeing the soul has required an active political rebellion against the architects of the state. Japan avoided this direct war between order and liberation by merging the two forces rather than pitting them against each other. They utilized Shinbutsu Shugo, a deliberate syncretism that blended indigenous Shinto nature worship with imported Buddhist philosophy. Shinto was assigned to this world, providing the divine justification for agriculture, marriage, and imperial statecraft. It focused on the pragmatic requirements of the community and the nation. Simultaneously, Buddhism was used to manage the next world. It handled the cessation of suffering, funerals, and the soul's ultimate release, providing a path for individual spiritual health. By compartmentalizing these philosophies, Japan created a system where citizens could participate in absolute state obedience while pursuing personal liberation, without internal conflict. These ancient texts are not dead history. They are the active vocabulary of 21st century Asian statecraft. During the Cultural Revolution, the Chinese Communist Party attempted to violently eradicate Confucianism, labeling it a reactionary ideology of the old ruling class. Today, the CCP has executed a total reversal. They have resurrected Confucian harmony to morally justify strict authoritarian rule, presenting the party as the rightful successor to China's ancient moral tradition. In India, the political movement known as Hindutva seeks to rewrite the secular republic into a definitive Hindu nation-state. This ideology leverages ancient religious identity to enforce a new era of state supremacy, using traditional values to define the boundaries of modern citizenship. Asian societies didn't discard their sacred foundations to modernize, they weaponized them. The persistent friction between state-mandated order and the individual soul continues to dictate how these nations govern, protest, and project power today.